Hello everyone, and welcome to Accounting 2242, Introductory Managerial Accounting. And as you may have figured out by now, I'm your professor for this course. I'm Daphne Rickson. So before I get into the details of the course, just a brief introduction for myself. I'm an associate professor of accounting here at St. Mary's, and I'm also the executive director of our Center of Excellence in Accounting and Reporting for Cooperatives. In addition to my PhD, I also have an accounting designation, so I'm a chartered professional accountant and a certified management accountant. I've been a professor here at St. Mary's since 2008, and prior to that I was working in both the private and public sectors for over 20 years as a controller, finance director types of positions. And in my spare time, I really enjoy traveling. I like going to Europe, to Asia, South America, and so on. There's so many places that I've seen already, but I still have quite a few left on my bucket list. So throughout the course, there's various ways that you can contact me. Email, of course, and my email address is shown there on the screen, and you have it in your syllabus as well. Also, I'll respond to your emails within 24 hours. Try to get back to everybody on a timely basis. If you want to have a live conversation with me, just send me an email. We can arrange a phone call, or we could do it through a webinar, which is GoToMeeting, and it's a really nice software. It works really well, where we can have a great live conversation if there's something you need to discuss with me. I don't have formal office hours on a particular day. I'm basically responding to questions whenever you send me a message. I'll respond to you. So now for the textbook for this course, it's Managerial Accounting, the second edition, and it's by Braun. And for this course, we are trying something new here. The textbook has been used before, but we're using it on a new platform, and for this course, you're going to be part of a pilot project. So because you're part of a pilot project, you're going to have free access to the electronic version of the textbook and to the Pearson's MyLab, and the MyLab is where all your assignments are contained. So just a bit more information now about the textbook. So if you don't want to rely exclusively on the e-version of the book, you do have the option of purchasing the book, and you'll just have to buy it for whatever price they're charging for it in the bookstore, or purchase a used copy. But as I said earlier, it's free. The e-version of the book is free because you are in the pilot project. Just one thing to remember, because you are getting the free book and free online access, there is an expectation that you will complete a survey at the end of the course, and it'll just be an online survey, and it won't be very onerous, just to get your feedback on the platform that we're using. Evaluation. So I'm sure you're all waiting to hear about how you're going to be evaluated in this course. So we have online discussions, and that's the full class as a group online discussions. So basically you would put in your information, and the other class members would respond. I'll explain a bit later what that's all about. So we have 10 of those, and they're worth 2% each. We also have online quizzes. There's 10 of those, also worth 2% each. Then there's the midterm exam. Now that's going to be held in person, and it's worth 25%. And your final exam is also in person, and that's worth 25%. And that all adds up to 100. So when you're approaching a online course, it's important to have a schedule, because when you don't have classes to go to, it's probably a bit more challenging to keep yourself on track and keep up with the coursework. So this is the weekly schedule that I'm proposing you follow to keep up with things. So first of all, read the chapter in the textbook. There's also an online interactive presentation that comes with the electronic access to the book, and you will see this presentation is very helpful in terms of understanding the materials. For each chapter, I have listed the practice questions. So all of the questions that are in the syllabus, they're all called practice questions, and you don't have to submit them for grading. So they're all there. So what I would suggest you do is practice the questions and then review your answer by checking the solution. Then if you still don't understand the material, I have a video debrief where I explain all of the questions that involve calculations in the course. There's a video that you can click on the video and get a further explanation for the solution to the problem. So you don't have to look at all the videos. If you've done the problem and you understand it and you've compared your answer to the solution and you've gotten it correct, you don't need to watch the video. But if there's something you don't quite get, then I recommend you click on the video and have a look. And then on Sunday evening, Sunday night at 11 p.m. Halifax time, that's when your online quizzes are due and your online discussion boards are due. So getting into the online discussions, each chapter has a discussion question except for chapter 1, and they're located in the discussion questions online in Pearson's MyLab. So you go in there, just follow the instructions when you see the discussion questions. Your initial response and your responses to the other students are due by Sunday night. Now you have to respond to at least one other student's posting. So obviously for everybody to have their own posting done and a response to other people's postings, you have to put your own initial response on certainly well before 11 p.m. Sunday night. If you don't do it if your own initial response doesn't go on until Sunday night, then obviously people don't have enough time to respond to you. So make sure you have at least a day in your schedule, so that way you would post your initial response to the discussion questions by Saturday, and that would leave people Sunday to post a comment on what you have said. So this will become a little clearer, I'm sure, as you get into doing the various online discussion questions. And there's no extensions or makeups for these online discussion questions. They have to be done on Sunday because on Monday we start another chapter. So the debrief videos, I referenced those earlier, so you won't see them there for all of the problems in the chapter, but they are there for problems that involve calculations, so that I can explain in a bit more detail where some of the numbers are coming from. So you don't have to view them all. I would suggest just those where you're having difficulty with the material. And they are located in the file folder for each chapter. So each chapter that we're covering has its own file folder with the material in it, and that's where you'll find the debrief videos. The chapter online quizzes, so there's 10 of them worth 2% each, and they are located online in Pearson's MyLab, and they're due Sundays at 11, and solutions are released at 11:01. So for that reason, of course, we don't have the option to do extensions or makeups with the quizzes. But that being said, since there's 10 of them and they're only worth 2% each, if you should miss one of them, it's not going to have like a major impact on your marks. So that's why there's so many, knowing that from time to time somebody may well miss one. So you shouldn't be too concerned. The midterm and final exams, they will be comprised of some multiple choice questions and problem solving and critical thought. So the critical thought question is basically your long answer narrative type of question. The midterm will cover chapters 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. We don't do chapter 5. So it's 1 to 6 excluding chapter 5. Your final will concentrate on chapters 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. But that being said, for some of these chapters, you do need to understand the material that comes prior to chapter 7 in order to understand chapter 7 and onward. Both exams will be held on site here at St. Mary's University, and you will be informed of the actual time and location later in the semester. If you live more than 100 kilometers outside of Halifax, then you need to make arrangements to write your exam, to have it invigilated in your own local area. And again, when you go online to the course in Brightspace, you will see the links to the form that you would need to fill out to have your exam arranged to be held at your location. So finally, how to succeed in Accounting 2242. First of all, if you're having difficulty with the course, you've read the chapter, you've looked at the solution, at the videos, you're still, not quite clear on something, be sure and let me know so that I can, work with you to help you resolve whatever issues you're having. It's important to keep up to date. That's the trick with web courses, where you don't have the classes to kind of prompt you to keep up with the work. It requires a little bit more self-discipline to keep up with your coursework, but I've designed the course so that it kind of forces you to keep up with it, because there's the discussion board and the online quizzes that are due every Sunday, so that kind of makes you keep up with the work. And in terms of preparing for the midterm and final, the best preparation you can have is practice. That is really the only way to learn accounting. Memorization, that only takes you so far. You really need to practice all the problems, and when you practice them, even repeating them over, it will actually help you remember the method and the approach for tackling the various problems. So again, welcome to Accounting 2242, and I wish you all the best with this course.